There's no shortage of strong female role models throughout gaming's history. From the revelation that the bounty hunter Samus was actually a woman all along, to the skillful gunslinging and tomb raiding of Lara Croft, and even Chinese super cop and longtime Street Fighter Chun-Li. The list goes on forever, but one powerful, confident lady stands in the upper echelon of the hack and slash genre's best games, the lovely Umbran witch, Bayonetta. Her game follows her exploits while searching for her memories, as well as the second half of a powerful treasure known as the Eyes of the World. The game handles a lot like the Devil May Cry series, which should be no surprise to anyone familiar with eccentric director Hideki Kamiya, who you may recognize as having worked on many a Capcom game before founding Platinum Games, including Devil May Cry. Bayonetta kicks, punches, and shoots her way through the game's many stages, tackling hordes of heaven's angels in an amusing twist. As a result, the enemies look and feel considerably different from the demons, undead, and high fantasy creatures common to the genre. Gameplay is flashy, consisting of many important facets that can be a little overwhelming at first. Things like witch time, which slows the world around Bayonetta after a well-timed dodge, the fact that enemies drop weapons you can temporarily use, and torture attacks where Bayonetta summons ancient torture devices like Iron Maidens to kill enemies. The game flows fairly smoothly in and out of cutscenes, making you at least feel like you're doing something more than simply moving from battle to battle. In terms of graphics, Bayonetta shows its age, but it looks good for a game that released in 2009. The Steam version has enhanced graphics options, but all it really does is make the game seem a little less like it's from the PlayStation 3 era. On the plus side, because they ported over an older title built to run on inferior hardware, it should play smoothly on most computers, even at top graphics. The music is also well made and very fitting of the game it was created for, but nothing to really call home about. There's no real standout tracks in the game that you might consider loading into your phone to listen to at work or anything, but what's there during gameplay is easily ignored at worst and complimentary at best. Unfortunately, Bayonetta is absolutely a product of its time. 2009 was almost a decade ago, but it just sort of says how things have changed in the genre since its creation. For example, there are a handful of QuickTime events. Remember those? They went out of style in recent years, but Bayonetta throws them at you, often without much warning beforehand, and failure often means a game over or losing health. It feels less like they made them because they felt they needed to, and more like they wanted to make sure that you were paying attention to the game's many cutscenes. Which is another point of contention for me with Bayonetta. There's more story and exposition in Bayonetta than there is actual gameplay. The game tries desperately to make you care about the other characters in the game, but it doesn't do particularly well. Considering how the developers often choose to relay the story to you, it's tough to tell if this was intentional or not. As a result, you may struggle to give a shit about what's happening in the story because you just want to play the game. A game that often holds you hostage for several minutes at a time before finally letting you go to play a few minutes of game. What you do get to play when given permission from the game is great, but it's barely sufficient motivation to continue to play. Other gripes of varying intensity include a poor camera system that sometimes commits the cardinal sin of moving to fixed angles with no warning, the arcade shooter at the end of chapters being a boring, low-quality throwaway. Also, I hear a lot of talk about how the game is difficult, but there's difficulty options at least. If something's too tough, no one's gonna judge you for dialing back on the intensity. Except for me. I'll be judging you harshly. As an aside, playing this game for the first time, it made me realize that, yes, someone at Nintendo decided it'd be a good idea to include this character in Smash Brothers. Bayonetta currently sells for $20 on Steam, but has gotten about as low as $6.79, which is a strangely specific number. If you're looking for a hack and slash to whet your appetite until Devil May Cry 5 comes out, $20 is a small price to pay for one of the genre's better games, and it seems to go on sale every handful of months, so if you're a poor street urchin like myself, a little waiting can go a long way. Add it to your wish list so Steam can notify you when it's on sale. Takes all the guesswork out of it. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you want more chunky beef in your life, be sure to subscribe here on YouTube or follow me on social media. Links in the description below. See you soon.